All right, so in this talk, I'm going to cover pages 44 to 58. So this starts off, they're still at the bunkhouse, and we've got Lenny is out with his puppy right now, and the rest of the guys are kind of coming into the bunkhouse from being outside playing horseshoes. So Candy comes in, he brings in his dog, and I've highlighted some of the words that they use to describe this dog. We said that the dog struggled, that it's old, um, it stinks, it's ancient, no teeth, got rheumatism, which is sort of like arthritis, no good to himself, no good to you. And of course, Candy defends him by saying he's the best damn sheepdog I've ever seen. Right? So when he was younger, he could really do it up, is what he's trying to say. Now I know he's a lot older. So remember that Candy and this dog have been together forever, since he was just a puppy. And Candy just loves this little dog. Here again, it's described as it suffers, right? So Carlson is trying to get him to do something. What is Carlson trying to get him to do? He's trying to get him to shoot his dog. He wants him to put it out of its misery. He says it's old, it's no good to itself, it's suffering. The best thing you could do for this dog right now is to put it to sleep. And you or I would probably take our animal who is very ill to the vet and have it put to sleep, where it would get a shot and it would fall asleep. And of course, it would be extremely sad. It's a very difficult decision to make. But these guys are on a ranch, and no one's going to spend the money to take anything to a vet somewhere. And instead, what you would do is you would just shoot it. So Carlson keeps talking about it, and he's like, I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll put it right here in the back of his neck. He'll never know what happened. It won't hurt him a bit. I'll take care of it. And of course, Candy doesn't want to do that. And he's like, no, no. And I've had him since he was a pup. I don't want to do that. But he kind of looks to Slim, because remember, everybody looks to Slim because Slim is sort of like the wise guy on campus. And he's like, you can have one of my pups if you want, but that dog ain't doing no good to himself. I wish somebody'd shoot me if I got that old and crippled. And Slim's opinions were law. And he's like, well, maybe it would hurt him. I don't mind taking care of him. But Carlson's like, nope, nope, nope. I'll do it right here in the back of the head. Wouldn't even quiver, wouldn't feel a thing. Candy is looking around the room for somebody to say, no, don't do it, but nobody is. And then it kind of flashes to something else for a minute. So somebody picks up one of these magazines that's on the shelf, right? And he's like, hey, did I show you this, Slim? Did I show you this? And he shows this letter that was written. It's a Dear Editor letter. Like, I've read your magazine. This is the best magazine on the market. Just wanted to let you know that this is the best dime I ever spent, right? And interesting, like, doesn't seem like such a big deal, right? So what? There's a little thing there. But Bill was somebody, or William Tedder, the person who wrote it, was someone who used to work on this ranch, right? Whit found the place again. He keeps reading it over and over again. He's pointing out this letter, and he's like, look at this, look at this. Oh, I wonder if Bill ever got to see it. Me and him worked in that patch of field peas. We were uncultivators, both of us. He was a hell of a nice fella. And, they're just talking about this little editor thing in the magazine. Why? Why is it such a big deal? Who cares about this? What's the draw here? Why is it important? Why was it so important that our author decided to throw this in the middle of the conversation about killing a dog, right? Because that was a pretty emotional, high intense thing. Now here's this. What is this all about? Well, we have to think about it in terms of these ranch guys, right? They're loners. They're on their own. None of them are really making it big, right? None of them are rich. None of them are doing anything fancy. But here's something. They're going from one place to another, right? So they're at one ranch, they leave. Nobody really thinks of them again, right? I mean, at first, Slim didn't even recognize this name because this guy worked there, but he left and didn't even recognize him at first. But here's something that kind of makes them immortal, makes them memorable in some way. Here's a rancher who got his name in print. Here's something that makes him important, and that gives hope to the other people, I think. So that might be a reason why it was so important. Then, of course, we get back to the conversation about the dog. And, Carlson's even just really drilling this home. Like, he can't eat, he can't see, he can't walk, he's hurting. And yes, I do. I've got a gun. I'll take care of it. And so that is what happened. So Candy does not do it himself. Candy says he can't do it. He can't do it himself, and so he turns over on his bed and he faces the wall. And um, Carlson takes the pup outside very carefully, very gently, very kind. Someone tells him to take a shovel. Why would he tell him to do that? Let's think about it. It's going to be a question. So why do you think he tells him to take a shovel? I want you to think about that. Then the feeling in this room just gets a little bit crazier, right? What is the atmosphere like in this room? It's silent. There's no noise going on. There's nothing. Everyone's just kind of sitting around. What are they waiting for? Well, Carlson just took the dog out to shoot it. So we know that what's going to echo through the ranch is the shot from this Luger, right? Whenever he kills the dog. So it's like they're anticipating, and they're all just sitting there in silence. And oh, you want to play some cards? And I'll play some with you. And then they sit opposite, but they don't really play yet. And he's rippling the deck of cards. So you have that little noise, a little noise from a rat underneath, some little gnawing sound under the floor. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is getting really intense. I don't know what's taking him so long. They're just so uncomfortable. And then suddenly there's the shot in the distance. And everyone kind of turns and looks at Candy. Candy doesn't move. He rolls over and faces the wall and just kind of stays there. He has nothing to say. He's extremely sad. His best friend, in effect, has just been killed. It may have been the right thing to do because the dog was in pain. I mean, look at Candy. Candy is old. Candy has one arm. Is he a whole lot of use on this ranch? Think about that. So he's just kind of feeling super sad. Um, let's see. So George talks a little bit about them and how they're going to stick around and they're going to roll up a stake. What's that mean if they're going to roll up a stake? Roll up a stake means he's going to collect some money. So he's going to stay here. He's going to work a while because he needs to make some money. Why does he want to make this money? That dream that they talked about, right? And it's going to come up again in just a little while, but that dream. So then Crooks pops in. Crooks pops in. He's like, Slim, I got that tar for you for your so that you can do the horse. He offers to do it, but Slim's like, nah, I'll come on out and do it. And Crooks tells him about Lenny out. He's like, that guy's out there in the barn. He's messing with all those puppies. He's taking them out. I don't know why he's taking them out. And George's like, listen, if he won't leave him alone, you just send him back in here. No big deal. All right, so Slim goes out. Crooks goes out. And now we've got George and Whit and Lenny and Candy left in the room. Now, Candy's just facing the wall, right? Now, George and Whit are playing cards, and Whit doesn't really want to play cards. He just kind of wants to talk a little bit. And so they start talking about Curly's wife again, calling her a Lulu, saying, keep your eyes open. You'll see plenty. She's not concealing nothing. I never seen nobody like her. She's got an eye going all the time on everybody. I don't know what she wants. She probably just wants some attention, right? Because Curly is a little off his rocker. All these guys are here. She wants some attention, you know. Um, George is like, so has there been any trouble since she's been here? He's just trying to kind of feel the situation out a little bit. Nah, nothing yet. Does say that Curly's pants is crawling with ants and he's got yellow jackets in his drawers. What does that mean? Well, that means that he's all the time jumping around trying to see what his wife is doing, make sure his wife isn't with anybody else, make sure nobody's hitting on his wife. He's just all over the place, right? George kind of gives a little bit of his wisdom here. She is going to make a mess. There's going to be a bad mess about her. Boy, that's the second time George has said that. It's sort of been again and again. What's that tell us about this lady, right? It mentions that Curly's got his work cut out for him. This is a ranch with a bunch of guys on it. The girl doesn't need to be here. This is a bad place. So then Whit's like, well, if you got ideas, you ought to come with us tomorrow night. We're going to old Susie's place. All right, so ideas means if you want to be with a woman. So old Susie's place. So Susie's place is really important for these ranch guys. Susie's place is a bar, but it is also sort of like a brothel, a place where a man could go and there'd be prostitutes there. So Susie has this place. She never talks dirty. She's got 5 girls that work there, and you can go there and um, you can get drinks, so you can get alcohol. It's a bar, right? You can sit in these really nice chairs and just chill and talk with your friends. It says if a guy don't want to flop, he can just sit in the chairs and have a couple of shots. So that means if he doesn't want to flop, meaning if he doesn't want to go up and be with a woman. So when you go here, you don't have to be with a woman, okay? You don't have to get a prostitute. You can just go and sit, hang out, and get some drinks at the bar. And Susie's okay with that. Susie owns this place. She's fine with it. She doesn't rush people out. She doesn't kick them out if they don't want to make her extra money. It's this place where these guys can go and just chill and relax and have a little bit of normal life for themselves. When they're on the ranch, they don't see women, right? Because they're around men all the time, working hard, working on a ranch. And so this is their chance to see women and be with women and have a drink and relax and live the life that they wish they had, but they probably can't afford. He mentions another place also. Um, this woman charges a whole lot more. She's not nice. This is at Clara's house. And it's kind of a dirty place. It's not real clean. So they don't go to Clara's. They go to Susie's, and the guys are inviting George to come with him to Susie's place next day if they want to go. He mentions that he's rolling up a steak. Again, I'm trying to save some money, but you know what? I might be able to go in and have a shot. That's not a big deal. That's pretty cheap, so I don't mind going there. So think about old Susie's place, what it represents for the guys on a ranch. You're going to be answering a question about that. Lenny and Carlson come in. Lenny just kind of scoots over to his table and lays down. Carlson, he's got his gun and he's going to start cleaning it. Carlson has seen Curly out there running around looking for his wife. So he's like, anyone seen Curly? He's looking for his wife. Well, she spends all her time looking for him. He spends all his time, like, I don't know where she is. We haven't seen her. She's not in here. He's like, wait a minute, where is he? Well, he pops in. He's like, you see my wife? You see my wife? I'm like, no, we haven't seen your wife. Where's Slim? Oh, well, Slim's outside. He's like, what? How long has he been out there? And so Curly jumps and he runs out there. So this is an example of that yellow jackets in his drawers. He just can't stand still. He's got to find his wife. He thinks that she's cheating or someone's cheating, and so he's running around taking a look. All the guys, they're like, I'm going to go outside and check this out. This might be good, right? I bet she's in there with Slim. So they're all going outside to watch. They think this big fight is going to happen because Curly's so in an uproar, right? And so the guys are all running outside to see this fight. Does George go? Nope. He is not going. He doesn't want to have anything to do with that. He says, I'm going to stay right here. Carlson's going to go out and look. Whit's going to go out and look. Everyone else is leaving. George, Lenny, and Candy are staying in. Now remember, Lenny just came from the horse stable, which is where Slim went. So George is just kind of trying to feel things out a little bit. He's like, so Lenny, did you see Curly's wife go out there? He's like, no. Did you see Slim? Yeah, he's out there. He had some tar. I don't know what he was doing. He told me I couldn't pet those puppies for a little while. I had to give the puppies on. So he's really concerned about the puppies. He was just told to give the puppies a break. He didn't do anything wrong. But they talk about it a little bit and he's like, you sure you didn't see Curly's wife out there? Nope. So George feels satisfied that Slim is not doing anything with Curly's wife, and who knows where Curly's wife is, but there's not going to be a fight. Those guys are out there looking at nothing. I thought it was really interesting that so the three of them are in the room. Clearly, Candy's kind of out for the count. He's laying down on the bed, just looking at the wall. But George is there with Lenny, and he could play a game with Lenny, but instead he plays solitaire, which is a card game you play just with yourself. I think that's interesting. What could that be saying about George and Lenny's relationship? What do you think that says? I mean, even when he's with someone, he's playing this game alone. So explain that. What do you think? What do you think? How do you think that could be symbolic? So they continue to have a little bit of a conversation about Slim, and we stop there. Well, George mentioned Curly's wife again. He's like, she is going to cause some trouble. And call it jailbait. They're calling her jailbait, meaning she can get someone in trouble. Just like that girl tried to get Lenny in trouble and claimed that he was raped and weed when he wasn't raped. So it's just sort of like a girl can say whatever she wants, and the guy will end up getting in trouble. And we had this Andy Cushman, somebody that they know from the past. Well, he's in he's in prison because of said on account of a tart. They're calling Curly's wife a tart, which would sort of be like a derogatory name for a woman, sort of like saying that she's a floozy, right? Not saying nice things. Have they really said anything nice about the girls yet? I mean, they mentioned the prostitutes and they talked nicely about them. They were clean. But they really said a whole lot of nice things about women so far in this story. Think about that. And this is where we stop, page 58.